Since we opened on May 1st of 1989, we have served 1,491 women with their children. And during those almost 24 years, we've had 255 newborn babies. Most of the young women that we see here today are children of addicts. Their mothers and fathers were using drugs, and they grew up with it. It was normal for them to have drugs in their household. Some of them are incredibly angry. They're incredibly angry at child welfare. How dare they take their child? Who do they think they are? It's like a lot of denial. Like, their drugs were under control. They just, it's like, well, they didn't really have a problem with drugs until cocaine or methamphetamines, and their lives are not going to be great if they continue to use alcohol and drugs. Our women have huge challenges because they come here and they have very, very little support. They're desperate to do something different, and they're very isolated. They're very isolated in their recovery, so they have to establish friends rather than having family. That's my story. Yes, it is my story because I came to Oregon to run away from my family. I was the oldest of 7 by the time I was 16, and somehow I was the person who was supposed to deal with the alcoholic parents and deal with the younger siblings, and I felt that I was losing. I felt that I was losing my mind, and I couldn't understand why I drank so much and why I couldn't stop. So I went to a therapist, and I told the therapist my life story, and she suggested seriously that I look at getting sober. My sobriety date is February 12th, 1982, so I've been sober for 30 years. Recovery is a process, not an event, and so it takes time. It takes time to really make that decision to stay clean and sober and to change your life. I mean, it doesn't happen overnight. For a woman, being able to keep her child with her or to regain custody of her child that is in the foster care system is, in my opinion, the biggest motivator to get here and to stay here and to do the things that they have to do in order to learn to stay clean and sober. There's a whole schedule, there's a whole treatment schedule that we give them, and they have to go to those groups. They have to go to groups, they have to go to classes, they have to meet with their counselor at least once a week, if not more often. Usually their counselor checks in with them. It is vital for them because even though they probably and most likely do not love themselves, they love their child, and they want their child to have a better life than they had. Eventually they have to see that they're doing it for themselves, but that eventually can be 5 years from now. It's a huge motivator. I mean, motherhood is very, very strong, that bonding. We do a lot of fun things. Probably the one I like the most and I do is the baby showers, because every pregnant woman that comes here has a baby shower. In the non-drug world, baby shower is a very normal thing. In these women's lives, it's unusual, unheard of almost. An equally fun thing here is Christmas. It's really worth it to me that they remember Christmas and that they remember how fun it was and how much laughter there was. And I think a lot of it has to do just with so many moms and kids, like a huge family. After they've been here and been clean and sober 60 days, we get them on waiting list, if possible, to family housing through Central City Concern. And if they stay clean and sober for a year, they maintain custody of their children. If they work with other recovering women, then we have a graduation for them. And that is a huge motivator also. I think that they learn that there can be joy in recovery and that they're proud of themselves for the work that they've done. What have I learned from these families? I've learned that they're courageous. These women who have, had terrible situations in their lives, and yet they still have faith and hope that their life can be better. Their courage has given me great courage about humanity, about that no matter what happens, that women can change their lives, that there is hope that their children can have a better life than they had.